I shouldn't be telling you this. I shouldn't even be remembering it, but sometimes the fire refuses to die down. It lingers in your chest, burns in your skin, and whispers in your ears at night when everything is quiet. That's what he did to me. He lit me up like a match striking against stone, and I, helpless, foolish me, was the gasoline. The first time his hand brushed mine, it was nothing. Or at least I told myself it was nothing. A spark, small and almost innocent. But when his palm lingered, when his thumb traced that delicate line on my skin, I swear my whole body shivered. My breath caught in my throat, and I turned away quickly, praying he didn't notice the flush in my cheeks. But he did. He noticed everything. Before I go further, let me pause. This isn't just my story, it's my confession. A confession I'm only brave enough to share here, hidden behind anonymity. So if you're listening, if you've ever felt sparks where you weren't supposed to, you'll understand me. Please. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story. It keeps me brave enough to keep talking, brave enough to peel back the layers of myself I usually keep buried. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. I was married, yes. Married, but unseen. You know that hollow feeling when you sit across from someone who no longer looks at you the way they used to? My husband had grown cold, distant. Our conversations were practical, our nights mechanical. I tried, God knows I tried, but nothing worked. Then there was him. He wasn't supposed to matter. Just a man in passing. He worked near my office, someone I bumped into often enough to nod hello to, but nothing more. Until one rainy evening, when fate, or maybe fire itself, decided to toy with me. I was stranded without an umbrella, clutching my bag, my hair sticking to my cheeks, when he pulled his car over and rolled down the window. Need a ride? He asked, his voice steady but laced with something that made my stomach tighten. I hesitated for only a second. That's all it took. 1 second of weakness, and I opened the door. The warmth of his car swallowed me, the faint scent of cologne and leather pressing into me like an embrace. We talked, at first about nothing, the weather, traffic, the inconvenience of the rain. But underneath the casual words, there was an electricity. Every glance he stole, every pause between his words, it was like sparks falling on dry wood. By the time he dropped me off, I was trembling, though not from the rain. His hand brushed mine as I reached for the door, and for the first time in years, I felt alive. I should have walked away. I should have slammed the door shut on temptation. But when his eyes locked with mine, dark and hungry, something inside me whispered, he is the match, and you, darling, are waiting to burn. That night, lying beside my husband's indifferent body, I couldn't stop replaying the ride. The heat in his stare. The way my heart had raced like a teenager's again. And though I tried to smother it, the spark was already alive. I told myself it was harmless. Just a car ride. Just a polite gesture. But deep down, I already knew, I had stepped too close to the fire, and it was only a matter of time before it consumed me. The very next day, I saw him again. I swear it felt like fate was playing with me, dangling temptation in plain sight. He was leaning against his car, phone in hand, his sleeves rolled up just enough for me to notice the veins in his forearm. My chest tightened. I should have walked straight past him. I should have acted like I hadn't felt the rush of electricity in his car the night before. But I didn't. He looked up, and that smile, the one that carried just the right amount of danger, spread across his lips. Dry today? He teased, his eyes scanning me, not rudely, but with a hunger that stripped me bare. I laughed, nervous, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. Looks like the weather's behaving today. Unlike last night, he said, his tone low, deliberate. And there it was. The unspoken thing between us, hanging heavy in the air. From that moment, I was caught. Like gasoline sitting too close to a lit match, I waited for him to strike. And when he did, it wasn't with fire, it was with words. We started talking. Quick exchanges at first. Casual conversations that seemed harmless on the surface. But soon, his texts found their way to my phone. Messages that started with "Did you get home safe?" and slipped into "I keep thinking about you in my car last night." Every vibration of my phone sent a jolt through me. My husband never noticed. Or maybe he didn't care. By then, silence had become our language at home. And then it happened. The first real crack in my resolve. We were in the coffee shop down the street. It wasn't planned. I had stopped for a latte, and he walked in like fate was mocking me again. His eyes found me instantly, and before I could think, I waved him over. We sat across from each other, the air thick with something more than steam. His knee brushed mine under the table, and I didn't move away. "You know this is dangerous," he whispered, his gaze locked on mine. "Then stop," I whispered back. But the truth was, I didn't want him to. His hand slid across the table, his fingers brushing mine just like in the car. But this time, I didn't pull away. I let him hold me there, in plain sight, while the world moved on around us. In that moment, I knew it wasn't just a spark anymore. It was a flame. And I was letting it grow. Fire. Before I go deeper, let me pause. If you're following this story, if you feel that burn in your chest just listening, please, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who understands the danger of desire. It keeps me brave enough to keep confessing. That night, lying in bed again beside a man who barely touched me anymore, I held my phone tight. A new message blinked across the screen. "Next time. I don't just want to talk." And my heart didn't just race. It surrendered. I told myself I would resist. That I could hold the line. That it was just texts, just small touches, nothing more. But when a man lights something inside you that's been dead for years, it's only a matter of time before you stop pretending. It happened on a Friday night. My husband had gone out of town for work. I should have been relieved to have the house to myself, to finally breathe. Instead, I felt restless, pacing, scrolling through my phone like I was waiting for something. And then it came. A message. "I'm outside." I froze. My chest tightened so hard I could barely breathe. I peeked through the blinds, and there he was, leaning against his car, that same dangerous smile pulling at his lips, waiting like he knew I wouldn't turn him away. I should have ignored him. I should have locked the door and turned off the lights. But instead, I opened it. The second he stepped inside, the air shifted. His presence filled the room, heavy, intoxicating. He didn't rush, didn't lunge. He just looked at me, his eyes roaming my face, my lips, my trembling hands. "You knew this would happen," he whispered, stepping closer. I swallowed hard. Maybe I did. And then it was over for me. His lips pressed against mine with a hunger that stole my breath. This wasn't a kiss meant to test the waters, it was a kiss that drowned me. His hands slid into my hair, pulling me closer, his tongue tracing mine until my knees buckled. I melted. Completely. It wasn't gentle, but it wasn't rough either. It was desperate. Like two people starving, finally tasting food again. My hands clung to his shirt, pulling him closer, terrified he might stop. "God, you taste like sin," he groaned against my mouth, kissing me harder. And I didn't care. I wanted more. I wanted everything. He lifted me onto the counter, his hands firm against my thighs, and for the first time in years, I felt alive. Alive in a way my marriage had never made me feel. Alive in a way I didn't even know I craved. In that moment, I didn't think about my husband. I didn't think about guilt. I thought about fire. And how good it felt to finally burn. Fire. Let me pause here. If you're listening, if your heart is racing with mine, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this story. It's the only way I can keep telling you everything without fear. Back to him. Back to us. The kissing didn't stop. It deepened, it grew wilder, his mouth moving down my neck, his breath hot against my skin. My body betrayed me, arching into his touch, begging silently for more. "Do you want me to stop?" he asked, his voice rough, his forehead pressed against mine. And for the first time, I gave in completely. No. The flame had touched skin, and there was no turning back. That kiss was supposed to be enough. A moment stolen, a memory to lock away in the shadows of my heart. But once fire catches, you can't contain it. He became my secret night after night. It started small. A text here. A meeting in his car, parked blocks away from my house, the windows fogged with our breath. But soon, it wasn't enough. I craved the heat of his skin, the reckless way he touched me like he didn't care if the world found out. And so I let him in. Again. And again. The first time in my bed, I swear I almost cried, not from guilt, but from the way he kissed me like he'd been waiting his whole life for me. His hands mapped me, learned me, claimed me. He wasn't careful, not like my husband. He was raw, urgent, and yet somehow tender enough to make me feel like the only woman alive. "God, you drive me crazy," he whispered into my ear as his lips traveled down my body. "I don't know how to stop wanting you." And neither did I. Every night with him left me trembling, my body humming with the kind of satisfaction I hadn't felt in years. But with every sunrise came reality, the guilt pressing against my chest like a weight I couldn't shake. I'd wake up next to my husband, smile across the breakfast table, nod at his words, pretend to care. All the while, my body still remembered the fire from the night before, my skin still marked by a man who wasn't my husband. It was tearing me apart, but I couldn't stop. Because he wasn't just touching my body, he was awakening a woman I thought I'd lost. A woman who wanted, who desired, who burned. And God, I was addicted. Kiss mark if you're still with me, if you feel this fire with me, pause for a moment, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video. Let's spread these forbidden flames together. But addiction always comes with a price. There were nights I thought my husband would notice. Nights I scrubbed myself raw in the shower, terrified he would smell another man on me. There were days I flinched when my phone buzzed, scared it would be him texting when I wasn't alone. Yet no fear, no guilt, no risk could keep me from running back to him. Because every time I said, "This is the last," he would touch me, kiss me, whisper my name, and suddenly, nothing else mattered. He had become my fire. And I was the gasoline feeding him, even if it meant burning down everything I'd built. I never thought fire could whisper. But his hands did, every time they slid over me, tugging me closer, melting me deeper into his arms. By then, weeks had turned to months. We weren't just sneaking anymore, we were drowning. Every time he touched me, my world shook. My body ached for him the way an addict aches for one more taste. I would hear his name in the middle of dinner with my husband, feel his kiss when I was supposed to be smiling at friends. He had become inside me, not just in flesh, but in thought, in soul, in hunger. And yet, I knew this couldn't last. One night, after hours of sweat and moans, my body limp against his chest, I whispered, "We're going to get caught." He only laughed, his fingers tangled in my hair. "Then let them catch us," he said. "I don't care. I want you." But I cared. Because for all the passion, all the lust, all the ways he set me ablaze, there was still a man at home who thought I was his. A husband who had no idea that his wife's lips carried another man's taste, that her body trembled at another man's touch. Still, I didn't stop. Because in those moments, when his mouth claimed mine, when his body filled me, when his whispers made my heart race, I wasn't a wife. I wasn't a liar. I was alive. Alive in a way I hadn't felt in years. Fire, and if you've followed me this far, if you've let my fire burn in you too, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with someone who dares to feel the heat of forbidden passion. Fire. The last time we met, it was reckless. Too reckless. A motel room on the edge of town, my phone buzzing with missed calls from my husband, my body already betraying me as I writhed beneath another man's weight. I should have been afraid. But all I could think was, this is who I am now. His kiss. His grip. His hunger. That was my truth. When I finally left that night, my legs weak, my hair a mess, my lips still bruised from his mouth, I looked at myself in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman staring back. And maybe that was the point. Because the woman I used to be, the faithful wife, the quiet partner, the one who lived only for duty, was gone. Now I was something else. Someone else. A woman who had tasted fire, and couldn't stop craving it. Sparkles, I know what I did can never be erased. I know I broke vows, shattered boundaries, and let another man set my body on fire when it should have belonged to only one. But I can't lie to you. I don't regret it. Not the kisses that left me shaking, not the nights that stole my sleep, not the way his touch made me forget my own name. He was my fire. My dangerous matchbox. And I was the gasoline that chose to burn. So maybe this is my truth. I am not here for judgment. I am here to confess that sometimes desire is stronger than loyalty, lust is louder than silence, and passion is more honest than promises. Kiss mark if you felt my heat, if my confession touched something inside you. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with someone who dares to taste forbidden fire. Because this isn't just my story, it's every hidden fantasy that people are too afraid to tell. Until next time, stay reckless, stay hungry, and never stop chasing the touch that undoes you. Sparkles.